You know that company that probably made your smartphone? Well, they just built an electric car that has the entire auto industry talking. Today, we're diving into the Xiaomi SU7, and believe me, this thing isn't just trying to compete with Tesla's bestseller, the Model Y. Some of the top experts are saying it's just better. So how in the world did a phone company pull this off?
Wow, I mean, that is a pretty stunning statement. And get this, it's not coming from some tech blogger or a fan on social media. That's from a true Detroit heavyweight, a guy who spent over a decade engineering some of America's most popular trucks. So yeah, we need to talk about this.
So the man behind that quote? That's Terry Wojciechowski. He's the former VP of General Motors, and now he's the president of a company called CareSoft Global. And what they do is fascinating. Their entire business is built on taking cars apart, piece by piece, right down to the nuts and bolts, just to see how they work. And here's why you should really pay attention to what he says. His company gets paid by the big automakers to give them the cold, hard truth about their competition. So when he says a car is better, it's not just some hot take for an article. It's a professional, data-driven diagnosis. It's the real deal. Okay, so what exactly did his team find that got them so fired up? Let's get into the juicy details and look at the hard numbers, because honestly, the on-paper specs here tell a really clear story.
Right out of the gate, look at this. We are talking about a massive power difference. The Xiaomi SU7 Max is pushing out 508 kilowatts. That's nearly 700 horsepower. For comparison, the Tesla Model Y long range is sitting at 378 kilowatts. That's not a small gap, that is a canyon.
And what does all that extra power get you? Speed. Lots of it. The SU7 Max just rockets to 100 kilometers per hour in a little over 3.2 seconds. The Model Y, it takes a full second and a half longer. You know, in the world of high-performance EVs, that is an absolute eternity. And here is the real kicker. This is the part that just blows my mind. The Xiaomi SU7 Max does all of this. It's more powerful, it's faster, while costing $11,000 less than the Tesla Model Y over in the Chinese market.
And this chart really lays it all out. It's not just about the power and the price. Look at the charging. The SU7 goes from 10 to 80% in just 12 minutes. That is less than half the time it takes the Tesla. The interior is described as feeling richer. It even comes with a little mini fridge, and it has a bigger front trunk or frunk. It seems like on almost every single important metric, Xiaomi came to play.
So this all leads to the big question, right? The one you're probably asking yourself right now. How did they do it? How does a company that makes phones learn to build a truly world-class EV and do it so fast and so well? Well, CareSoft's teardown uncovered some seriously clever engineering. First, they streamlined all their electronics. They took 4 separate computer modules that run things like the radio and the driver assist and combined them into just one unit. That move alone saves a ton of cost, weight, and complexity. They also fine-tuned their electric motor to spin way faster, which lets them squeeze more power and efficiency out of a smaller, lighter package. But the engineering is only half the story here. Now this is where it gets really crazy. Just look at this timeline. It took Tesla over 5 years, 61 months, to post its first quarterly profit. Even another super efficient Chinese startup, Li Auto, took 2 full years. Xiaomi's EV division, they started making a profit in just 19 months. That kind of speed is it's unheard of in the auto industry.
Okay. I know what you're thinking. The specs are incredible, the numbers on paper look amazing, but as any EV owner will tell you, the official range on the sticker isn't always what you get out on the actual road. So let's take a quick look at some independent testing. So the SU7 Max has an official range of 466 miles according to China's official test standard, but in a real-world highway test, cruising at about 62 miles per hour, 2 people in the car, AC on, it went 306 miles before the battery was completely dead.
Now, that might sound like a huge drop, but here's the really important context. That's actually considered an average result. This says a lot less about a flaw in Xiaomi's car and a lot more about how, let's just say, optimistic China's official testing standards are. Pretty much every EV sees a similar kind of drop-off in these real-world conditions.
So we've got a car that's faster, cheaper, and packed with more features than its main rival. The obvious next question is, why can't you buy one here in the United States? Well, the answer has a lot less to do with engineering and a lot more to do with geopolitics. The short answer is a giant wall, a tariff wall. In September of 2024, a 100% tariff was slapped on Chinese-made electric vehicles, which pretty much blocks them from the US market entirely. And to put it in perspective, it would only cost about $3,000 to make the SU7 compliant with US safety rules.
That barely even makes a dent in its $11,000 price advantage, which really shows you the tariff is the real barrier here.
And you have to remember, this is all happening at a really critical time. The Tesla Model Y design is from 2020, which in the crazy fast-moving Chinese market is practically ancient. And as a result, Tesla's sales over there have reportedly hit a 3-year low. And it's precisely because of these hyper-competitive new models like the SU7. So, these trade barriers, they can absolutely protect domestic automakers for a little while, give them some breathing room to catch up. But as we've just seen, the pace of innovation from companies like Xiaomi is just relentless. And that really leaves us with a big, lingering question. What happens when that time runs out?